So, not only do I finally have the Ace Combat music on, I was originally gonna do this with someone else, but some things happened, and that guy can't really be asked to record. So let's do this. Okay, first one, A10, the most overrated thing ever. Oh my god, people who like this should shut up genuinely, because if you're an A10, all the A10 people are so stupid. They're always like, haha, Gal 8A Avenger. Bro, it's not that cool. The A10 is outdated. It's shit. It can't do its job. It like kills like a bunch of warrior IFVs. It's basically, it's basically, it's basically, the Down syndrome of the skies, bro. It literally cannot do its job. It's ugly too. It's fat. It's stupid. It's slow. It can't do its job. Also, the people who like this don't know nothing about it or are 9 years old. That is the only reason why you like the A10. The A6. Loki? Oh yeah, this is this. A6. A6 is it's average. It's the most average out thing out there. It did ground attack. It was okay. It's average. A7, the Lost Gunplane. People don't really know about this one as much as well, just like the A6, because it's like one of the more obscure. It's not like this overrated shit. I'm gonna have to put it in C, because it's kind of average. It was average at its time. It did job just fine. Now the Alpha Jet. Ground attack British. That's all I know about it. I'm not as autistic with planes as with tanks. I know nothing about the Alpha Jet. It's going here. AV8. The Harrier. The Harrier is cool. It's a B tier. It's solid. It's decent. It's okay. The most okay thing out here. I think the Harrier is just fine. The Harrier, not much to say about the Harrier. It's just really fine, but it's also really cool. Oh, also, it also has like never been shot down as well, which is quite cool. Yeah, I know nothing. F1. I'm assuming this is the Mirage. No, it's a trainer. Trainers go here because I have nothing to comment on trainers. Oh, this thing. This thing is F tier. The F104. Yeah, this thing killed everybody. This thing was basically just a dart. It basically had like nothing good inside of it. The most ass thing ever. The F104. Okay, the F111. The F111, unlike this bitch, is so much better than this thing. You wanna know why? It actually could do ground attack really well. It had like early precision weapons. It had ground scanning radar. The only bad thing was its maintenance. Also, it had a cool ejection seat. But the F111 is cool, and it's not like this bitch. It's great. It's also cool, and it hasn't been glazed that much, so it's perfectly fine. Now honestly, just shut up. The F-14, right, was painted with like propaganda to be like the super maneuverable fighter that could go up against like F5 Tigers and like A4 Skyhawks. No, it couldn't. It was fat. It had a worse turning circle than the F4 Phantom. The F4, the brick. The F-14, also, people talk about it's being the first plane to have active radar missiles, even though the AIM-54 Phoenixes were made for the F-111. The F-14 was also just as expensive to maintain as the F-111 because of those wings, right? The F-14 is only popular because of one one movie, and that was Top Gun. That's the only reason why people remember the F-14. And if you take that away, the F-14 has nothing. If Top Gun was never released, the F-14 would not be glazed to hell. Maybe I might even put it in B tier for being alright, but because of Top Gun, I had to put it in here because people who talk about this plane should shut up. They should really shut up. I just hate the F-14's fan base. It's comprised of 9-year-olds who know nothing. Nothing. Anyways, this is my favorite plane. Unfortunately, people, those 9-year-olds, are starting to realize how good it is. But I love the F-15, right? People, unfortunately, those 9-year-olds, those dirty 9-year-olds, are starting to realize why this plane is so good. Which is why we should gatekeep the F-15. We should gatekeep the F-15. We should never let the 9-year-olds even come close to talking about the F-15. We must censor them. The F-15 should be gatekeeped for people who know their shit. Because the F-15 is great. It's perfect. It's the pinnacle of planes. It's my favorite for a reason. 104 kills to 0. So great, so peak. I love the F-15. The F-16 is B tier because it's average. Because it's a lightweight multi-role fighter. Unfortunately, it's starting to get fan base. Those 9-year-olds, you know, those 9-year-olds. Yeah. But thank God the F-16 is still decent. The F-16 has a decent, can do multi-role well. It's kind of cheap compared to like this thing, or an F-22, or an F-35. And it can be used in like low risk situations. It also does the A-10's job! Anyways. F-18, same deal with the F-16. I think these two are pretty equal. Both of these fill out each other's roles, which is quite good. I think the F-18 might be slightly better, but I don't really know how to rank that. So, yeah. Do you want to know why? The 9-year-old fan base, bro. The 9-year-old fan base with this jet is crazy. Oh my god. The 9-year-olds everywhere yapping about the F-22. It's so annoying. Just shut up. The F-22. Yeah, I know the F-22 deserves to be glazed, right? It had, in a training exercise, it had like a 200 KD. It had a 200 KD, which is actually much better than the F-15s. The F-22 basically has the radar cross-section of a marble. It's tiny. It can't be locked on, basically, from like a long range. It does its job really well. But unfortunately, the little kids have gotten to the F-22. They have infested it, just like the F-15. The little kids have infested it, which is why I put it down here. If maybe the little kids didn't talk about the F-22 like this, like glazing it, like being annoying and ruining it, maybe I would have put it in like A or S. But unfortunately, the little kids are everywhere, yapping about the F-22. This is the fate of the F-15, and I'm so sad. Unfortunately, the F-22 is here. It would have been higher if the little kids haven't gotten to it, if it kept being this niche thing. But unfortunately, they've gotten to it. Now, the F-35. I like the F-35. I like what it brings to the table of being basically an F-16, but stealthy. Well, there's more to it, but that's like the basic premise. However, the little kids are starting to get this one because of things like Laser Pig. Unfortunately, the little kids are getting to this one. It's a B tier for now. But this is the next victim of the chopping block. This is the next victim that the little 9-year-olds will flock to and make their profile picture. This is the next one. I salute you, F-35. The F-4, oh god. Untouched by the kids. Bro, when you look at the F-4, it has like all the hallmarks of being glazed by little kids, but thank god it hasn't. and thank God it's still cool. We love the F4. All my homies like the F4. The F4 stayed in service for that long for a reason. It's still used today. Probably by like Iran or something who still uses this because that Shah is stupid and thought this was a better pick than the F15. The F4. The F4 is quite good. The F4 did its job well. The only reason why it had such a high loss ratio in Vietnam was because of mainly a doctrine thing where Robert McNamara would say like, you have to look at the enemy first with your tiny little with your turning circle that is like the size of China. Yeah, F4. But thank God, if the F4 is used as it's meant to, going in straight lines, firing missiles from a long range, then it's great. But if you put it up in a dogfight, it's not gonna do well. Which is why the F4, and that's why the F4 is a great platform. But if you use the F4 wrongly, like they did in Vietnam, that's why the F4 is like seen as hated. Now, the FCK1. I have no clue what this is. This is so niche. This is so niche. This is so niche. The FA50, the Korean trainer. I guess it's quite cool that a trainer can also be converted into a fighter jet, which is good because it's cheap, but it's probably not as good as like a real fighter because it probably has a more limited payload. I mean, look at it, it's tiny. But I think it'd do a decent job, so I'm putting it at C tier. It's like the whole trainer thing, it's quite okay because then you can convert your large stock of these trainers into fighters. So yeah, the Gripen. Stay precious, my child. Stay precious. Don't let the little kids come at you, bro. I hope you survive. The Gripen. The children don't know about how advanced the Gripen is. It's an F-35 with no stealth, but with all the technology. It does it all. It's smart. It's so smart too. Basically the F-35. Also, I like canards. Canards are cool. All my homies like canards. Trainer. I guess Eagle. No, I guess the red. What's it called? The J10. As a Chinese person, I have to put this here, otherwise Xi Jinping will smite me from heaven. But I think the J10, without bias, right? I think J10's quite decent as a platform. It also can carry the PL-15, which is like currently the longest range missile in the world, the longest air-to-air missile in the world, which is great because it's a PL-15. The PL-15 is really scary. So yeah, J10 is pretty good. I like J10. It's also like basically a Chinese Eurofighter or F-16. It does everything they do well enough. Also, yeah, being in a smaller, lighter airframe too. The J20. Now, people may hate me for being a China shell, but I think the J20 is criminally underrated. Okay, when people didn't know nothing about stealth, right, they actually thought the canards would affect stealth, but turns out they don't. And although it has a horrible radar cross-section for what it's meant to do, I think it's a step in the right direction, honestly. And honestly, people complaining that it stole technologies from the F-35 and the F-22, yeah, no shit it did. It had to catch up. Otherwise, how else would China build a 5th generation plane? China, right? Before they stole the secret documents, the sources said it wasted billions and billions of dollars and cost billions and billions of dollars and like 20 to 30 years of development. But thanks to stealing F-35 and F-22 documents, the Chinese managed to cut that down to only 5 years and only a few $100 million spent, which is great. Progression, because they went from the concept of the J20 in like the early 2000s to it being fully production in like 2017, and now with only 300 models produced and 120 being made every year, which is great progress for this new design. Also, I've seen pictures of the new J20S with the double seating, right? I think they smoothed out a lot of the bumps and edges, which made it less stealthy. So I think the J20 is going to be a really a large threat to the F-35 and dominance in the Pacific. Although the F-35 is a better plane than the J-20 as of this moment. If China keeps its pace up, they might overtake the US in terms of this. Although it is true that Chinese chips or technology is like still 10 years behind the US. So the J-20 is still worse, but it's like my favorite, and I'm crazy patriotic. And you see this? The J8, the J8s? Rubbish. Just pure rubbish. Just pure trash. The J8 is just a MiG 21, except they, I guess, reconfigured where the air intake is. Otherwise, it's pretty shit because it's a MiG 21. The Jaguar. It did some strikes during the Desert Storm, I'm pretty sure. But that's all I know. I'm not into this type of like late 70s things. Although I guess this is from the 70s. The Jaguar, I only know as the plane that did strikes and launched like cluster munitions in Desert Storm. So yeah. JF-17. Okay, the Pakistan-China version of the F-16 is of course gonna be worse than F-16. It has worse avionics, I'm pretty sure. It has like lower technology level than the F-16. So it's gonna go there based on pure skill, right? The JF-17, although, and it does carry the PL-15E, the export PL-15. I'm not sure. I think it's a fine multi-role. Chinese Jaguar, JH-7. Okay, light attack aircraft. Just phase this out. It's old. It's way too old for its time. I think China still uses JH-7 in some capacity. Probably in like low numbers. Probably as like training for maybe potentially the J-36 or the JH-36 since it might be fighter and bomber. But I'm not sure. I think the J-7 is really bad since it's basically a Jaguar that's still being used. Okay. Kafir. The Kafir. It's basically a Mirage. It's just an Israeli Mirage. Anyways, that's a trainer. MiG-21. For the time it was decent. For the time the MiG-21, also J-7. For the time it was decent. Okay, for the time. So we shouldn't really be comparing it to all the modern ones. But I did put this here, but the J-8 is basically a MiG-21 still being used in some no, the Chinese Air Force, actually. I think they retired the last J-8 in like the 2010s, which is horrible. So I think the MiG-21 for its time went toe-to-toe with the F-4. You know? So yeah. The MiG-23 or 27. Okay. It was bad for its time. I think it suffered really bad reliability issues. It was okay, I think, at ground attack. I think I'll just put it in the same tier as Jaguar. This thing spooked the shit out of the Americans and forcing them into making the F-15. This thing really scared them. I'm not gonna put it on the same tier because it turned out it was like a rust bucket pile of shit. This thing nearly shot down an F-15. This thing nearly crippled this guy's 104-0 losses reputation. This thing. And turns out MiG-31 is quite formidable. It can launch like basically a ballistic missile in the sky, the Kinzhal. It's not hypersonic, by the way. It's still immaneuverable. It's basically just a rock going at Mark 5 at you. Basically just a huge rock. But I think the MiG-25 probably would have been around the same level as like an F4 in the time. So yeah, it's going there. But the 31's quite great. So if you had options for like a 31 and a 25, I'd put 25 probably here and 31 probably here. So we're just gonna go for a middle option. Okay, the MiG-29. Okay, it's not as glazed as the Su-27, but it's still a bit glazed. The MiG-29 is quite average, and no one talks about the 35 for some reason. I think it goes perfectly fine in C tier. Now the Mirage 2000s, probably in A tier. Mirage 2000 was actually quite good for its time. It was like advanced and shit. Wait, is that a meteor? Oh god damn. Yeah, then it deserves to be an A. Mirage F1, basically. I don't know about these ground attack things because I'm normally, in terms of planes, not tanks, I'm autistic with those. Q5. Q5, I'm thinking it's some sort of Chinese thing. Probably a net ground attack thing. But I have no idea, and it looks pretty shit since it's probably... If we're talking about the Q5, let's talk about the Su-7. Since, yeah, Su-7 was horrible for ground attack. It was way too fast. It's basically rusty. No, Q5 doesn't belong. No, I mean Su-7, since I'll use it as a placeholder, since they look kind of similar. Now the Rafale. B tier, Mirage upgrade, but not as legendary. Basically, blah blah blah. We left out the Eurofighter program because we got salty that they didn't want to make a carrier-capable version. So yeah, Rafale goes here. And it's average, it's quite good. But it's France. I know this is French as well, but, you know, this sounds more French. Oh my god. Oh my god, if you like this, if people who like anything related to this specific airframe style, honestly, Ray, shut up. Shut up, those Sukhoi memes aren't funny. Smile, sweet, sister, sadistic, surprise, service, Sukhoi. Mate, not funny at all, bro. I laughed at that shit when I was like, fucking, goddamn, probably like 7 years ago. Oh my god. Oh, there it is. Okay, equally as bad. You already know my thoughts on this. It's horrible for ground attack. It's way too fast. Why if they use basically a MiG-21 airframe for ground attack? It goes way too... They should use something, right? With like... Something more like this airframe or this airframe would be better for ground attack. Not like a MiG-21, which is basically a missile with a man in it. Hold up. Su-24. Basically the F-111 but less advanced. It's a rip-off. I think it was on the... I put it at the same level as this. It was the most average thing ever. Quite average. Su-20... Lots of people glaze this, apparently. According to the guy who was originally supposed to do this with. But I don't know, I've never seen this thing glazed. It's usually the Su-27 that gets glazed, not this thing. Su-25 is probably fine. I mean, it has a bunch of bombs, it carries a lot of payload. I'd say it's fine. Wait a minute, you two look kind of similar. Okay, I guess I'll put you there then. Shut up. Shut up about the Su-27. Shut up. Russian bots, kill yourself. Shut up. We hate the Su-27. All my homies hate the Su-27. People who love... It has a sexy airframe. I know it does. But people who like this. Oh my god, it just pisses me off the amount of unfunny things they say about this. As if planes were meant to be funny. Like, those cargo planes with their mouths open, that type of shit. If you like this, just get a better opinion, mate. Just get a better opinion. No. Su-34. It's less glazed. I know it shares the same airframe, but it's much less glazed because it gets wrecked in Ukraine. The Su-34, I think, is a great successor to the Su-27 in terms of ground attack capability, because it's basically following in the path of the F-15E. And all my homies love the F-15E. Yeah. Oh my god. Do not compare this thing to the F-22, the J-20, and the F-35. Do not, Russian bots. Z-bots. Lock in. What are you thinking? I know your dad Vladimir Putin told you to say that. The Su-57 is so bad. Mate, before it even flew, it got hit by a drone in an airfield because valuable technology, valuable superior Russian technology cannot. Bro, I bet if this thing was sent to Ukraine and it got shot down and the Ukrainians stole the airframe and gave it to the USA, they would learn nothing new because it's outdated as hell. Bro, you cannot call this thing a 5th generation fighter. It's 4, maybe even 3. It's 4 best. It's 4. It's not. Maybe even 4.5 at best. But the Su-57 is not a 5th generation fighter. Bro, it has straight intakes. Do you know how stupid that is in terms of a 5th generation design? Straight intakes. That's just stupid. It has... I'm pretty sure they fixed the bolt issue, but I think that's still a few exposed ports. I think the gun is actually still exposed, which is really stupid since radar beams can still reflect off that. The engine's round and stuff, shiny, unexposed, no RAM on them. Wow, yeah, that's gonna help with stealth. Oh my god, the Russians genuinely actually thought this would actually be stealthy. No, apparently this thing has the radar cross-section of an F-18 Hornet. You know how stupid that is? Oh my god, do not stop glazing this thing. Also, I read a stupid article that said an Indian version of the Su-57 would solve all these issues. No, it won't. No, it won't. They delayed Hal Tejas for 20 years. Okay, I'm angry. Super Entendard. This is obscure. Oh my god. Oh my god, right here. Okay, the population of India sits at 1.2 billion, which means 1.2 billion people glaze this thing. Okay, stop listening to Indian propaganda. The Tejas, right, is not cutting edge at all. It is probably a mirage. It does not deserve the glaze I see from the Indians, okay? It does not deserve all that, because it is average. It is average. And maybe it's on par with like the Mirage 2000, right? And it's average as hell. And guess what year we're in? 2026. Oh my god. Fielding a Mirage 2000 in 2026. Actually, shut the hell up, bro. This thing does not deserve to be glazed. This thing is awful. Look at that. It's a Dorito. It's a Dorito that got delayed for 20 years because India can't find competent electronics to put in this thing. Oh yeah, and instead they have to buy them Rafale from the French because they're stupid and can't build it themselves. Honestly, pisses me off the amount of glaze I see this thing receiving. Tornado, quite a decent platform. Yeah, I'd say Tornado is quite on par with the F-111 in terms of how great it was. That thing could also complete strikes reasonably well in Desert Storm. I've even seen one in real life. I like stood next to it, like patted it. Yeah, I think Tornado is quite nice. Typhoon, just to piss off the French, okay? Just to piss off the French. just to piss off the French. B and a half. Just to piss off the French. Just to piss off the French. Okay, vegan. The vegans. Maybe I don't really hang out around the Swedish community, and I don't know how glazed the vegan is. Because apparently the guy, he told me that this thing's really glazed among Swedes or something. I'm not really sure where to put this. But I mean, it's pretty cool. I guess it is the grandfather to the Gripen. So I guess that's cool. The Yak one, it's a trainer. Okay, the Yak 38. I think it's a cool, basically Russian Harrier. I'm surprised they didn't actually put the Yak 141, which would be cool in this one. Maybe I'll find it myself and tell you why I'd rank Yak 144. It's going in E tier. It's like really bad. It's a bad version of the Harrier. It was also less fuel efficient. And if you want to tell me why I'd rank the Yak 144, I'd probably rank it at B. Because the Yak 144, first thing to ever reach supersonic, and I didn't put it next to the F-35, okay? Because apparently Lockheed Martin, no, I think that was a prototype before both of these, by the Americans by the way, so they can use this. Also, just because someone uses a lift propulsion thing, doesn't mean you're copying it. Now this is more a rant about like copyright things, but basically what I think, right? Let's trace back to the first plane that had 2 engines. Are a majority of these planes copying that one plane all the way back when planes were first invented? Like the first 2-engine plane? No, not really. It's more like a means of getting what you want out of your plane. So using a specific VTOL system is fine. Taking one from someone else is fine. Also, F-35 only had 1 engine. But Yak 144 had like 2 engines, like 1 in front and 1 in the back. So it's not really the exact same system. The F-35 draws power from the main engine to power the lift fan. But the Yak 144 had 2 engines, so basically even more dead weight. But I think it was quite capable, I'd assume. So yeah, this is my autistic little ranking of like a bunch of planes. And I'm not really that into planes as much as I am into tanks. But this is my opinion, and it's always correct. Yeah. Okay, bye.